So hey there, so we're gonna explain about 3 questions of 7th class Unit 1 first lesson of NCERT. So here is the 3 questions. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. So a certain king thought of 3 things. If he get the answer, he would never fail. These 3 things were: what is the right time to begin something, which people should he listen to, what is the most important thing for him to do. The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these three questions. So the king therefore sent messengers throughout the kingdom, promising a large sum. So who would answer these questions, he will give a large amount of money. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. So many wise men came to him, but they all answered differently. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. So some said prepare a timetable and follow it strictly. Only in this way, they said, could he do anything at its proper time. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. So some others said that we can't do anything, we don't know future, so we can't say for this question. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish places, and always do whatever seems necessary that time. So he avoided the foolish answers. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every action. So some said that the king needed a council. So some said that if he had a council, so if he had a council, he can do the right time. Like if he should build a building, so he should suggest a council like that. But the others said that there were some things which could be urgent. These things could not wait for the decisions of the council. So some other said against to them, and they said, if it is urgent, you should do. If it is not urgent, you should not do. So in order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future, and only magician could do that. So some others said that the king should consult a magician to look into the future, so he can do anything he wants. So in their answers to the second question, some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors. Again, counselors came in this question also. So others said the priest. So others said the priest is the most important person. A few others chose the doctor, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most important, most necessary. To the third question, some said science, others chose fighting, and yet others religion worship. As the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not satisfied and gave no rewards. So for the different questions, king did not give any rewards. Instead, he decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit. So he decided to seek the advice of hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. So he widely known for his wisdom. The hermit lived in a wood which he never left. He saw no one but a simple people, and so the king put an ordinary. So he did not saw like king, the big persons. He only saw ordinary simple people. So king put an ordinary clothes. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguards and went alone. So in the middle of the road, he left the horse with the bodyguards and went alone. As the king came near to the hermit hut, he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. So king came near the hermit hut, but he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. So the hermit greeted the king and continued digging. The hermit was old and weak, and as he worked, he breathed heavily. The king went up to the hermit and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what advice are the most important?" The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. He went on digging. "You are tired," said the king. "Let me take the spade and work in your place." "Thanks," said the hermit, giving the king his spade. Then he sat down on the ground. So as you can see in the picture, king is taking the spade and hermit is giving his spade to the king. When the king had dug 2 beats, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answers, but stood up, stretching out his hand for the spade, and said, "Now you rest and let me work." But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed. Then the sun went down behind the tree, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I come to you, wise man, for an answer to my question. If you can give me no answer, tell me, and I will return home." "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed it and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought the fresh water and gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cold. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. So here the king carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work, he had done lay down on the floor and slept through the night. So the wounded man has slept in the bed, but the king slept in the floor. So I am telling him when he woke up, so you get the interest. So if you don't like, please comment down. When he woke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. When he saw that the king was awake, "I do not know and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed and you did not return, so I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do same. Forgive me." The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy, and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servant and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked around for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answer to his question. The hermit was on knees, sowing seeds in the beads. What a rhyming word that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said for the last time, "I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood up before him. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, and I had not dug these peats for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the peats, and I was most important part of to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were carried for him, because if you had not trusted his wound, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was most important business. Remember then There is only one time that is most important. That time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment, for no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business is to do that person good, because we were sent into this world for the purpose alone. So guys, you should say in the comment which is your most favorite part in this lesson. So my favorite part is there is only one time that is important time, and that time is now. So now is your time. So you should read and I forgot. So you should read properly and take your parents at high name. You should get the most percentage. So you should read, you should understand the concept. If you have a doubt, tell me in the comment box. I will clear your doubt, okay? So guys, please subscribe to my channel so I will become this type of videos. So if you like this video, please do like to my video and subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, bye.